Welcome to Murder with the Missus. I'm Darren.
And I'm Amy, and today we're going to tell you about Eric Richins.
Don't forget to check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Podbean, and Facebook. Like, share, subscribe. Make sure to hit the notification bell so you get the new episodes whenever they drop, and tell your friends as always.
This is one that is in the courts right now, but I have no patience because this one probably won't see a trial until 2025 if the judge decides there's enough proof to go to trial. I really don't see how they wouldn't, so we're going to go ahead and record this one. Eric was in construction in 2009, so he was a frequent shopper at Home Depot. I'm sure he only went there for work, and it had nothing to do with the cute cashier he was always looking at when he went in there. He couldn't build up the courage to ask her for her number, so he sent a friend in to do it for him. And this is how he started dating Corey. They ended up getting married on June 15th of 2013 and would have 3 boys. They spent a lot of time together. He was a very involved dad, and he started his own contracting business with a business partner in 2019. He loved to hunt, so sometimes he would take hunting trips, but he liked to take trips with Corey too. Not to be outdone by her husband's success, Corey started a real estate company in 2019 too. Reportedly, Corey was smart. She was described as someone who had brains and common sense, so she fell right into house flipping. Eric had 2 sisters, Amy and Katie, while Corey had 2 brothers, DJ and Ronnie. And the families reportedly blended very well together and spent a lot of birthdays and family gatherings together. Corey would tell the police that on Thursday, March 3rd of 2022, the couple had both got home to their house near Park City, Utah by 6 or 6:30 that evening. Her mom, Lisa, came over around 7:15 and left by 8:30 at the latest. They had been celebrating. Corey was about to close on a mansion that once flipped would bring in a lot of money.
Corey said they went to bed around 9:30 to 9:45, and before bed, she went and made Eric a Moscow Mule.
Right. She also said that Eric was known to take a THC gummy before going to bed. Sometimes she would too if he pressured her to. But this night, he drank his Moscow Mule sitting on the bed in their bedroom. She plugged her phone in next to the bed to charge while she went to sleep with her middle child. He always had bad nightmares, and she came back to her bed around 3 a.m. Just after that, she noticed that Eric was cold to the touch. She called 911 at 3:21 a.m., and the operator instructed her to do CPR. It says in the court doc that she can be heard counting on the 911 call like you do when you're doing chest compressions. But it also says that she refers to Eric's body as it in this call. EMTs and the sheriff's deputies arrived within 10 minutes of the 911 call, and the EMS took over working on him. They asked her where Eric's medication was, and she said she didn't know. The maid always put them in random places. Unfortunately, they were unable to help 39-year-old Eric, and he was pronounced dead at 3:58 a.m. on March 4th. EMS personnel said he'd been dead a while and that he had no heartbeat the whole time they were there and working on him. At the scene, Corey told law enforcement, "We eat THC gummies. Sometimes Eric will take a gummy before he goes to bed. It seems like he didn't though." So this night she's saying that she doesn't think he actually did. First responders originally thought that this was an aneurysm. And they also said that she did not perform mouth-to-mouth on him like she said, because he had significant amounts of blood in his mouth, meaning that had she done mouth-to-mouth, she would have gotten blood on her mouth or face, anywhere. And she didn't have any of it on her.
A year later, on March 7th, 2023, she's self-published a children's book called Are You With Me?
Yes. She went on local news in April to promote the book, saying that her and her kids wrote it because after Eric's death, they couldn't find a kid-friendly book about the grieving process. The book has a kid going to school, playing sports ball, all of the things that kids do. And then their dad, as an angel, was watching and cheering from heaven.
Then on May 8th, 2023, she was arrested and charged with aggravated murder and 3 charges of possession with intent to distribute a controlled substance. So the gummies?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
So cops have been working all this time building a case to prove that Corey had actually killed Eric. His toxicology report from the Utah Medical Examiner's Office came in just a few days after his funeral, and showed that while he had no THC in his system, he did have 5 times the lethal dose of fentanyl in his gastric fluid, showing that he had ingested it.
So through his Moscow Mule.
Through his Moscow Mule.
Oh.
He also had quetiapine, I think is how you pronounce it, in his system, which is an antipsychotic used for bipolar disorder and other things, but this was not prescribed to Eric. It was Corey's prescription. She said she used it as a sleep aid, and his family knew from the start, even before the toxicology report came in, that Corey had done this. Warrants showed that he had warned them that if anything happened to him, she was to blame. He had reportedly also suspected that she had been poisoning him, not just this one time. It had happened before. So let's talk about how the investigation turned from 4 charges into 11 charges. The first question was, how did she get the drugs? Like, people have to be able to get fentanyl. There is a woman listed in the court docs as CL who cleaned houses for Corey's business and her personal house. She had a history of drug distribution charges and was on probation at the time. She had not been charged with anything in this case, but maybe that's because she's being so cooperative. Plus, they have text messages and stuff to corroborate all this. At the end of January 2022, Corey asked CL to get her prescription pain pills for an investor who had a bad back. So CL did, and Corey paid her for them.
2 weeks later, she said the pills didn't work, so she asked for, quote, some of Michael Jackson's stuff.
Yeah, that meant fentanyl.
Okay.
Yeah, and they made the deal, dope for dough, on February 11th. CL gave her 15 to 30 pills for $900. 3 days later, on Valentine's Day, Eric got super sick after eating his favorite sandwich that Corey had got him from a diner. She told people that they had lunch together that day because they worked from home all day. Her family said he wasn't that bad. He took a nap and even coached his son's sports ball game. Eric told a friend that he was really sick, broke out in hives, used his son's EpiPen, drank a whole bottle of Benadryl, and slept for like 2 hours. He told his friend that Corey was trying to kill him. She had left that sandwich in his truck seat along with a Valentine note for him to eat at lunch. The sandwich, not the note. But she was not there with him like she told everybody. Phone records and data shows that she ordered around $41 worth of food from the diner at 8:53 a.m. and picked it up. At 9:41 a.m., she texted her boyfriend. Oh yeah, spoiler alert. She texted her boyfriend headed that way with a picture of the navigation on her cell with an arrival time of 10:49. She didn't get back home until 4:30 p.m. Corey's best friend asked her about this after Eric died, and Corey said, "It was Valentine's Day, and Eric and I were both working from home that day, and I ordered lunch from the diner. He never broke out in hives or used an EpiPen. I was fucking with him." She was fucking with him? The hell does that mean?
According to his friends and family, this is the second time that he said she tried to poison him. And just to talk about Michael Jackson, did you see the video where it's floating around where they take the body off the plane in the body bag?
Oh, and it sets up or whatever?
No.
Oh.
Like they have like the license plate of the van that takes it to the undisclosed location or whatever. And then they show the license plate of the van again. And then there wasn't nobody in the back of the van with the body, but that body walks out.
Oh, okay. I thought it set up, but so yeah, it walked out.
Yeah. So they're saying that he's still alive.
He's still out there. He's probably with Tupac in Cuba.
Yeah. Well, but then they showed like a guy with his face was like, you could tell he had a lot of plastic surgery and stuff, but he talks just like him.
Really?
Yeah. Anyway, that's just conspiracy theories.
Maybe we need to do a conspiracy episode.
That'd be cool.
That'd be very cool.
Oh man, that'd be a whole rabbit hole though.
We'd have to do like a week on it.
Yeah.
So right now we're at the point where she has lied to everybody. She said that they were together that whole day. They were not. She doesn't know if he used an EpiPen. She doesn't know. She's saying he didn't do any of this stuff, but she wasn't even there. So she doesn't even know. But his family has said that in 2019, when they went to Greece with some friends, he said that she made him a drink and he got sick. She said that he was on medication. So he ordered a virgin drink, but he was brought one with alcohol in it, and his body reacted because of that medication. So we can see now that she's possibly tried twice already. And we see that she for sure bought fentanyl 3 days before he got sick on Valentine's Day. But he recovered. Then roughly 2 weeks later, on February 26th, Corey bought another $900 worth of fentanyl. 6 days later, Eric was dead. And I will note here that they didn't find any fentanyl in the house. And according to her previous lawyer, Sky, none of the glassware tested positive for it. His family initially thought that she had laced that Moscow Mule, just like we said. But there's no evidence of it. To me, I would think that if she gave him enough to kill him, then there wouldn't be any left in the house. I mean, I'm just going to throw that out there. That's the way my brain's going. There are a couple of possible motives for wanting Eric permanently out of the picture. One that seems to be a recurring theme in the true crime world is money. To start her real estate business, Corey borrowed money from hard money lenders. She started in 2019, and by 2021, her company was obligated to pay $5,438 per week. She stopped paying that and got sued. It jumped to between $205,000 to $368,000 a month that she was owing in debt obligations. On October 1st of 2020, Eric happened to go to the bank and he got more than he was ready for that day. A bank rep informed him that there was a fully advanced $250,000 HELOC, which is a home equity line of credit, on his house. And I mean his house. Corey was not on the deed. But it is believed that she forged a power of attorney saying that Eric authorized her to sign loan documents on his behalf. He also found out that she had got 2 credit cards through that bank and maxed them both out too.
On November 29th of 2021, she used more hard money lenders to get $1.1 million to buy 3 more properties.
Yeah, she's just going to keep it up.
Like, let's push it.
So you borrow money, you can't pay it back, so you go to another.
So what's a hard money lender?
Usually higher interest rates. You really don't want to get into a hard money lender situation. You want like a typical classic home loan.
I got you.
But she's going to the depths so she can get more money.
Okay.
Yeah. And I don't see how she's just moving right along, because obviously this stuff is going to be showing up on her credit and her company's bank records and things like that. But she's literally lying to these people to get more money, and they're giving it to her. In December, her company's bank account had $14,000 in it. Then $216,000 was deposited, but $254,000 was taken out. So it was literally overdrawn by $24,000. And this seems to be a recurring thing for her. In the 5 months prior to Eric's death, she had 198 separate overdraft and return transactions totaling $5,000 in just the fees. And she had a $15,000 line of credit at another bank where she wrote 7 checks to herself and her company totaling $36,600. So checks were being returned right and left, but she got her money, so it didn't really matter to her, I guess. And for those who fell asleep or just got lost in all that, I'll sum it up. The day of Eric's death, she owed $3.1 million and still closed on that mansion, literally the day after Eric died, the next day, and then threw a party in it that day. Now, how much did this mansion cost? $3,259,850. Besides being narcissistic and heartless, she did this because the day that Eric died, he was the opposite of her. His estate was worth an estimated $5 million. Investigators say that she had been taking money out of his personal accounts and misappropriating his business funds for years. Saying she was terrible with money is an understatement. But Eric had a joint life insurance policy with his business partner, each naming the other as beneficiary. But a few months before he died, Corey logged in and changed Eric's policy to show herself as the beneficiary for that $2 million. The insurance company, of course, notified Eric and his partner about the change, so they changed it back. And they did not tell Corey that they knew about it or that they had changed it. So Corey was under the impression that she had just pulled a fast one, but joke's on her. She could have just divorced him. She even met with a divorce attorney in January, but she canceled all that and they refunded her retainer. And they sent her the refund check and noted that it was for a retainer refund, so she can't deny it. And the couple had signed a prenup. It says that if they divorce, Eric gets everything. But if he died while they were lawfully married, then she would get it. And she told her brother in a phone call that she canceled that consultation because she didn't want half of everything. She wanted to walk away clean and free.
But another thing she didn't know was that on October of 2020, Eric had put his estate in a trust for the boys and named his sister to be the one in charge of it. That was smart.
Yeah, so she's thinking she's about to get this house. She's about to get $5 million. She's thinking she's going to be set up. But she didn't know that he had made arrangements to keep her from it. They did find out that she had taken out 6 life insurance policies on him. That there was 6 total. She didn't take them all out. Corey got the final one January 29th for $100,000, and it went into effect on February 4th, 10 days before the Valentine's Day sandwich. Court docs say that Corey was trying to open a safe 2 days after Eric's death, and his family, was trying to stop her. Allegedly, there was between $125,000 to $165,000 in cash in this safe, and she was trying to get to it. Documents say that Corey punched Amy, his sister, in the neck and face. Corey's family, of course, says Amy was the aggressor, and Corey was just trying to defend herself, that no actual punches were thrown. But Corey was charged with assault and pled no contest. So now she's even physically getting into it with his family, trying to get after money. Also brought up in the courts were the ever-popular Google searches. She had Googled, can deleted text messages be retrieved from an iPhone? Can FBI find deleted messages? What is the lethal dose of fentanyl? How long does life insurance companies take to pay? Since these were done after Eric's death, her lawyer at the time, Sky, says that she was just trying to understand what she was being accused of, that this doesn't necessarily point to her planning his death.
But she also Googled the woman's prison in the area, so I guess she was also trying to see where she was about to be staying at.
Yeah. Yeah, she was Googling
She was trying to see the accommodations.
Yeah. What can I look forward to?
Yeah. Is it the Hilton?
Definitely not the Hilton. And let's not forget about another motive, sex. Her boyfriend, who we now know is named Robert, was a handyman who helped with some of her houses. She set him up in a condo she owned, and he said that she gave him a Ford truck. On December 7th of 2021, this was 2 days before Robert's birthday. Eric was still alive at this time. Corey booked a 5-night, all-inclusive trip to Secret St. Martin Resort and Spa for her and Robert. She booked it for April of 2022. And in case anyone wonders how much a trip like this costs, it was $4,211. Where she's getting this money from is beyond me. On December 18th, Corey texted Robert, I'm in love with a man that's not my husband. And I want to, but I can't break up my family. It's having your cake and eating it too. I do just want to love you. I do love you. She texted him that she loved him just a couple hours before Eric died. Remember the Valentine sandwich incident? The next day, she had texted Robert, I just want to lay on the couch and cuddle you, watch a murder documentary and snuggle. And then on February 19th, she texted, if he could just go away and you could just be here, life would be perfect. Here's the kicker for me, okay? On Wednesday, March 2nd, Corey texted Robert, life is going to be different, I promise. You're one hell of a patient person. I hate your hard days. I wish I could be there in person to turn them around for you. Can I try Friday? Give me a few days. Hang in there until then, please. Eric died that Friday morning. What the fuck?
Then 8 months later, after Eric died, Corey and Robert broke up. Oh, really?
Yep.
She kicked him out of the condo for using meth.
Yes.
She kicked him out of the condo because he's a meth head.
Yes.
Gotcha.
She killed her husband for the money and to be with her lover, I guess. And then they broke up. Yeah. There's a lot of online chatter that she shows the signs of a meth user as well. So there's speculation that they were probably using it together. Now, he would go on to reportedly end up living in that truck that she gave him, and he's been arrested multiple times since then for trespassing, open container, driving without registration, shit like that. He even, one time he got arrested was because he went into I believe it was a Quick Trip bathroom or 7-Eleven bathroom and wouldn't come out for an hour. I don't know if he was taking a bath. I don't know what he was doing, but they had to forcefully remove him from the gas station bathroom. But enough about Robert. There's just a lot of information on this one. She'd told police that she left her cell phone next to the bed charging that night, remember? She woke up around 3 and then called 911 at 3:21. Now, her phone data showed that she unlocked her screen 6 times between 3:06 and 3:21, and it traveled 370 feet during that time. Supposedly, there were messages sent and received during that time, too, that were then deleted. So she was actually messaging people and all that stuff from the time she would have found his body to the time she actually called 911. And when Corey found out about that secret trust that she didn't know about, remember? She sued Eric's sister. And this was about 3 weeks after Eric's death. A judge in 2023 ruled that his family would get the life insurance funds that he had through the business. And then on August 15th of this year, they ruled that the family owns the house that Eric and Corey lived in since it was only in Eric's name. So it would go to his family, not her. But if they sell the house, they have to wait for the court to decide on what happens with the money. While in jail, she had a medical episode. Corey says that in September of 2023, she was taken to the hospital because the jail gave her the wrong prescription medication and it induced a seizure. While she was out, they found an unsent letter in her cell. Inside of an LSAT prep book, the LSAT prep book, there was a 65-page bundle of just writing. Inside those 65 pages was 6 pages that was a letter to her mom. So she was trying to hide it in the middle of that. Real big across the top of the first page, it says, "Walk the dog," in all caps.
Her mom said that she takes care of Corey's 16-year-old dog, so that helped prove that it was a legit letter to her.
Yeah.
So it's got to be something to it.
Oh, there is. I'm about to tell you.
Okay.
The prosecution used this in court as evidence of witness tampering because in the letter, she's telling her mom to tell her brother Ronnie what to say in court. She says her lawyer has a private investigator looking into the cartel, but they need some kind of connection between Eric, drugs, and his trip to Mexico. It says, "Here's what I'm thinking, but you have to talk to Ronnie. He would probably have to testify to this. A year prior to Eric's death, Ronnie was over watching football one Sunday. Eric told Ronnie he gets pain pills and fentanyl from Mexico from the workers, and not to tell me because I would get mad because I always say he just gets high every night and won't help take care of the kids. Reword this however he needs to make the point. Just include it all, but take vague notes so you remember. The connection has to be made with Mexico and drugs." Now her mom, ever loyal, said everything in the letter is true. In a recorded phone call, though, Corey denied it was a letter at all, saying it was for a book she was writing. How many times have people used that excuse? Besides the fact that we all know that's bullshit, this is probably a good time to mention another discovery. Even if it's small, it still bothers me. It came out that she had a Zoom call with a ghostwriter for the children's book she supposedly wrote with her kids. So she supposedly wrote this book a year after he died to talk about how to help kids grieve. And then, now that we know that she's killed him, she's still in there trying to write books. I'm going to use my air bunnies there. Is there anything that she doesn't lie about?
The court did say that the letter was not witness tampering because she never actually sent it to anybody.
Because it was found in her cell and she didn't actually send it. She wasn't influencing any witnesses.
Yeah.
Well, she was trying to.
Well, true.
Yeah, so they couldn't get that to stick. And you may have noticed that I keep saying her former lawyer, Sky. And that's because in May of this year, Corey's lawyers withdrew as her counsel, citing an irreconcilable situation. I figured her check bounced or something like that. But now she has a public defender, multiple. The old firm, on the way out, though, filed a motion to remove the DA from the case. They said that the DA's office was listening to confidential phone calls between Corey and her lawyers. But Summit County Attorney Brad Bloodworth said Attorney Ramsey refused to register and use the HomeWave app. That's the app that shields attorney-client calls from them being able to record it. Since he wouldn't use that app, the calls went through like any other call. And as the DA would be listening to the recordings, as soon as they realized it was an attorney call, they would stop. The judge said there's no intentional or purposeful intrusion by the DA's office. And that sounded intentional and purposeful on Corey's attorney's part, though, trying to jam the DA up. And they are about to do the preliminary hearing, hopefully. They may delay that since she got new attorneys, but she's supposed to have the hearing on August 26th. We are recording this right before then, so we won't have that information yet because, like I said in the beginning, the actual trial won't be for like a year or so. Her total charges right now are aggravated murder, attempted murder, 2 counts of mortgage fraud, 2 counts of insurance fraud, 3 counts of forgery, and 2 counts of distribution of a controlled substance. And there are 2 more things that I want to mention. There's been a lot, and I didn't go into it all, just the major stuff. But these are just some random things.
There's some people who believe that Lisa was there longer than they said that night.
Yeah, so that's her mom.
Yeah.
She said her mom left by 8:30 at the latest, but some people think she was probably there a little longer and may have had a little more in it than they think.
Yeah.
It came out in court docs that in 2006, Lisa was living with her girlfriend. In April, the girlfriend died unexpectedly. An autopsy report showed her immediate cause of death was drug poisoning from an overdose of oxycodone. Shortly before her death, she had named Lisa as the beneficiary of her estate. Now, to be fair, the girlfriend was currently prescribed oxy and reportedly struggled with abusing them. But the authorities did not believe that this was an accidental overdose. And now it really looks suspicious that her daughter is in a similar situation where her significant other has died of an overdose. And they thought that they were beneficiaries to the life insurance policies. So, I mean, And then finally, the mansion. I was curious. News reports have done the story outside of the mansion. And because this was a big part of the case for one of the possible motives, the money angle, she bought it for just over $3 million, but planned to flip it for $12 million. She said that her and Eric met with an accountant, and they said that it was possible that if they stayed on budget, they could hit that $12 million mark. And she said Eric was supportive. His family says he was supportive of his wife, but that they had argued over the mansion. It's a 20,000 square foot mansion with a 4,000 square foot guest house on 10 acres. Construction started in 2017, but never finished. And she's obviously not making those mortgage payments with her commissary money, so she defaulted on all of her loans and lost that house. In November of 2023, the mansion got a new owner who said that they will work to build the original plans, making it an event center. It has 8 bedrooms, 11.5 baths, a 9-car garage, therapy pool, a full-sized pool, exercise room, golf simulator, indoor volleyball court, and a room designed for virtual reality installations.
This will be one we will update when there's something more.
Yeah, because like I said, she's not going to court for a while, but here's a picture of the mansion when she bought it.
Dang.
It is huge.
Does that go with it too?
Yes, that's the
Good
guest.
That's a big ass house too.
That's the 4,000 square foot guest house.
Guest house.
Yes, and it's in the mountains. Like you can see the mountains in the background.
Whatever.
So this was what she was planning, but in order to buy this and make this happen, they think that she had to get that life insurance money.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Oof.
that was the end of this one. I guess we'll just have to wait for the updates on this one, then we'll hit it again.
Yeah, once she goes to court, we'll know.
All right. Well, thanks for listening. Make sure you guys follow, share, subscribe, and tell all your friends.
Tell them all.
Catch you guys on the next one.
Bye.